Continental Tire Coach's Corner, from sun to rain to snow and everything in between. Continental Tire is engineered to tire for what you do. Extraordinary performance, reliability, putting confidence into driving. For more info and the location of a dealer near you, visit ContinentalTire.com. Continental Tire for what you do. Continental Tire Coach's Corner. The former coach, Seth Greenberg, working for the mothership last night on their college basketball telecast, and he joins us now. You know, you and Jay Williams were going back and forth talking about what you think should happen to the UCLA kids. You said sit him down the entire season. Jay said, you know, let's give him 5 games. Did you know Jay was going to be that fired up with your suggestion?
You know, I didn't know. I mean, Jay, Will, and I, people don't understand, we are so close and really dear friends. And now sometimes we look at things through a different prism. I mean, it's really that simple. But, you know, he has his opinion on things. I have mine. You know, like I didn't say kick the kids out of school. I said that, you know, there's got to be some type of consequence. And when the president has to get involved, when Alibaba's president has to get involved, when you're on foreign soil in a communist country, you know, I think that's pretty extreme. And, look, I don't know the kids. I'm not making a commentary on good kids, bad kids. I know some of their high school coaches and the AU coaches, and obviously they all vouch for them. But this has become an international incident. And if they were not basketball players and the similar thing happened, they'd still be in China.
But, Seth, is this about the act or the coverage of the act here?
No, I mean, look, I don't know what the laws are in China, and I don't know the dollar figure. Like, you know, I don't know what they stole or allegedly stole, because I mean, you know, no one really knows what exactly they stole. You know, there's one report, it was 3 different stores. But if it's over a certain amount of money, it becomes a felony. And if it's a felony, I know at the schools I work with, if you were involved in a felony, you were immediately kicked out of school. I'm not telling anyone to kick out of school, although I think that, what about the stigma of those kids walking around campus right now if they go to class tomorrow? What do you think the stigma of those kids would be?
They did something stupid. They embarrassed the school, but, you know, people move on quickly now. It's like, hey, we're outraged. There's an uproar, and then you move on. And in a month from now, I don't know if anybody's talking about this. It's not that they shouldn't be punished here, but I think because of what they did, where they did it's now let's punish them, you know, in a more harsh way than we would have if this happened, you know, in Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, I mean, what they did and where they did, especially because I've taken teams overseas, and you cover with your team. We're going into a foreign country, and obviously we take them to China. You go into a communist country. There's a different culture. There's a different lifestyle. You know, you're representing yourself. You're representing your family. You're representing our university. You're representing our country when you make a trip like this. You're ambassadors. Yeah. So those things, you know, I would be shocked if Steve and his staff didn't really drill that home. You know, when you go out in groups, you know, be good with people, you know, take pictures if they want to take pictures, because, you know, it's going to be different for some of these people. I don't think you can trivialize it, though, Dan. I really don't. And like I said, I'm not saying kick them out of school. Oh, we almost got a little accident right there.
Oh.
I'm not saying that kick them out of school, and I'm not saying they can't practice. But I think there's got to be some, you know, if you condone it and you're not condoning it, 3-day games seems trivializing it. That's me. I mean, how many games would you say?
I'd probably do 5. I'd probably, and you know, these games that start this season are usually meaningless games. So you could have a couple of throwaway games in there, and you know, set the tone. As you know, Coach, you take away playing time, you know, things start to settle in, and you know, instead of I'm going to scold you or something like that, but taking away playing time is a big deal. So probably 5 games. What do you
think about the university? I mean, like you're talking about UCLA.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about one of the really high school institution of higher learning that, you know, represents a whole region in a certain way. If that happened overseas to a regular student at UCLA, it wouldn't have been publicized the same way it would have been publicized. But would those students even be back in the States by now?
No, they wouldn't be, but they wouldn't be punished in a way. This is a big deal because you have one of the Ball brothers involved in it. Now you do have UCLA,
yeah, well,
but
it becomes bigger because they're shooting a reality TV show there, and like I don't think this is any reflection on the way those kids have been raised. I'm sure they're great parents, and I don't like the way LeVar Ball talks at people, and talks about other people's kids, and whether it's UCLA needs to play in the fourth quarter, or when they lost the game last year in the NCAA tournament, having comments about the makeup of the team, or the ridiculousness of the Michael Jordan conversations. But that goes with it. If that's the scenario you're going to paint, if that's the world you're going to live in, then you know what, you're going to have to pay the consequences. I used to always tell our guys, if you do something stupid, if you do something really good, it's great to read it on the front page of the newspaper. If you do something stupid, it's not so much fun.
He's Seth Greenberg, Continental Tire Coach's Corner, ESPN college basketball analyst, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. So what you're saying is if you're Steve Alford, you would have no problem suspending these guys. If you were coaching UCLA, would you push for them to be suspended the entire season?
First of all, I think it's out of Steve Alford's hands. I think this is an administrative decision. There are certain things that are above your pay grade as a head coach, and this becomes the international incident it became, and the attention that it's received. This is well above Steve Alford's. This is Dan Guerrero. This is the public relations department at UCLA. This is probably university police.
But if it's handed down, though, Seth, you would it was
handed down to me.
Yeah.
Again, I would take into consideration, my relationship with the kids in terms of, do I know these kids? Do I know their makeup? How have they been with us the time they've been with us? But I would have a hard time playing them this year. I'd have a hard time playing them this year. And some people say 10, 12 games, wait till the league play. But that almost trivializes it. Oh, these non-conference games don't mean anything. But,
sure.
Once the league starts, everything's fine and we'll go back to zero. Herm Edwards said something on Mike and Mike today. He said something that, what you do is you see how they are, on campus, you see how they are in the community. Obviously, you have some community service involved with it, and then you see how they respond. Again, that's a take. I just think that, to me, it is who was involved, and you make a good point. If Lonzo Ball wasn't involved, are they met at the airport by that many? I'm sorry, not Lonzo Ball, but LaMelo Ball involved. Are they met LiAngelo Ball involved? Are they met at the airport with that many people? No, they're not. But I mean, this is a news story, no matter who's involved.
Yeah, it's a big deal, but
especially in the culture of what's going on in our game right now.
All right, let me ask you about a couple of questions. We saw Grayson Allen go off against Michigan State, and now being a senior, I don't know if you see something different with Grayson Allen, or we should be looking for something different with Grayson Allen.
Well, first of all, he's healthy. Last year he wasn't healthy. Number two, I thought the poise and the patience and his leadership was terrific to me. That team, when you're playing with four freshmen, his role has changed. He's now Quinn Cook, and the rest of those kids are who he was when he was a freshman. So, yeah, I see a change in him. I thought he competed hard. I thought that he played with great poise. I thought he played with really, really good purpose. And he's a big-time player. I mean, he came off those screens, jumped up, and shot it at a high level, and playing with a point guard. Playing with Trayvon Duval makes the game a little bit easier. Last year he had to play some point. Now he had to manage the game. He also had to find a way to involve himself in the game. He wasn't healthy last year, so you put on top of that. Then he had his controversies. You put that on top of it. So I think, you're going to see a different Grayson Allen. I think that he's enjoying basketball again. And I said it last year, and we actually had that conversation. It didn't look like he was having fun, and he admitted to it, that he wasn't having fun, and that he got away from basketball this summer and kind of rebooted himself and got excited about being in the gym, being part of a new team, having a different role. And he was phenomenal yesterday. And Duke playing 40 minutes of zone. How about that?
Didn't think I'd ever see that. He borrowed a
pretty good zone, though.
Yeah. I think he borrowed page out of Coach Boeheim playing his own. Hey, it's great talk to you.
USA basketball experience.
Appreciate the opinions and safe travels home. Thank you, Seth.
Thanks, pal. Appreciate it.
Seth Greenberg, ESPN College Hoops analyst. That's our Continental Tire Coach's Corner.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.